Good morning, folks. It's Friday, I think, right? Yeah, it's Friday,
Friday.
and I'm sitting here near the bay, enjoying a beautiful day, and I got LT on the line, and he's sitting up in a beautiful state park up in Arkansas somewhere, and we're going to talk about a few things. So let's get started.
You bet. Hello, everybody, and we have big things going on the G World, and the G World family there. Today is the 15th. It's a big news day for G World, and that they're standing up a brand new LP today. And this LP is going to be the G Note / T-bill LP, and you're going to be able to do staking with the G Note / T-bill LP. In fact, if you look in your staking page of the thetaswap.io on the staking page, you'll see you now have G Note. I actually have a little G Note in there. So what can I do with that? What does it mean? And so what I can actually do is add liquidity to a new liquidity pool called the G Note / T-bill LP staking pool. And so that's something I can do with this G Note. And so just in short, let's just run down this white paper. It's just it's an article. It's on Medium. Talks about this new incentive liquidity pool staking with G Note / T-bill LP staking. So brand new token. It is a TNT 20 token produced on the Theta network. This LP will be also on the Theta mainnet, same as the T-fuel / T-bill LP that's on the Theta mainnet. So just going through this right quick, it is on the thetaswap.io is where it's hosted. It is on the Theta mainnet, and you will have to have the MetaMask wallet with Theta mainnet on that MetaMask wallet in order to interact with this LP. If you do decide that you want to put your G Note with T-bill into the LP and stake it, then it is a 50-50 liquidity pool ratio that you have to do. So you have to put a matching amount of T-bill to go with your G Note into that liquidity pool. You can be incentivized to do so, and that there is a 50% static APR that's paid out or issued. The reward is issued in T-bill, and that's going to be issued out every day at 0100 Universal Coordinated Time. So
Yeah, do the multipliers are they going to work in the
yes,
new
they
LP?
will.
They will. Cool.
Yes, because the multipliers actually multiply your T-bill. And this is an LP using T-bill as a part of the pair, the G Note / T-bill pair. And so that multiplier is going to interact and multiply that T-bill in this new LP, same as it multiplies the T-bill of the T-fuel LP. So those multipliers are going to work, but it has a static APR of 50%, just like with the T-fuel LP has a static APR of 50% paid out in T-bill. It's paid out daily. And if we just look at that just for a second, we know that we get paid from our T-fuel LP at 00Z every day. With this new LP, you'll get paid at 0100Z, and then the rebase will occur at 0200Z. So if there's a rebase. So you can see pretty straightforward that from 00Z to 02 00Z is where all the activity is going to take place as far as payouts and then rebase of the T-bill if need be, whether it's an expansion rebase or a contraction rebase, depending on what needs to happen with the T-bill to maintain equilibrium with T-bill. So, so within our MetaMask wallet, you'll have a T-bill contract address. You can get that out of this article. And a G-Note contract address. You can also get that out of this article.
Yeah, I did that
And
video
make
the
sure
other day about
right.
how to
And so
add
if you have
that
that
address.
Exactly. And then there's liquidity. So, and this liquidity pool is going to work, and adding liquidity to the pool will work exactly the same way as working the T-Fuel/T-bill liquidity pool. It's just you're going to be doing G-Note/T-bill liquidity pool. And so you'll just have to make sure when you're on the pool page to have the correct tokens that you want to interact with so that you put it in the correct pool. And so that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'm looking at my staking page on T-Bill.io, and over there on the left now it's showing G-Note twice. That's under the T-Fuel box. It's showing 0.00 G-Note, and then the box below it that says T-Bill LP, it shows 0.25 G-Note. So that sounds like they put the G-Note from me staking to their Guardian node, that they put it into my MetaMask wallet, not the wallet that's actually staked to their Guardian node, because today is supposed to be the airdrop of the G-Note for staking activity, unless that's...
Well, it is.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. That is because I'm staking in the LP. That must be what that is.
Correct.
So I probably will have some G-Note over in that other wallet too. I'll have to check that later.
Right. So, yes. So we can see that there is the G-Note's already been airdropped to my wallet. In fact, I went and looked at my MetaMask wallet, and the G-Note has been dropped to my wallet for my T-bill staking activity as well. So it's in there. So now then, interesting to see. Let's see if I can go ahead and add liquidity to the pool. Let's see if that's come up yet. Now then, I might need to create a pair. That's what I'm going to have to do, is create a pair. I'm going to have to create a pair that's between... No, I can't do that yet because it's not showing G-Note.
Yeah, they haven't stood up the LP, apparently.
No, evidently not. Now, yeah, it does say that it's going to happen actually at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which is right now, so we might be just a bit early on that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't see it there. So I can't create that pair just yet. But that's what I would do. I was going to the pool page and create the pairs, which is actually the first thing we had to do. We kind of forget about that step because you only have to do it once, is create the pair. So when we created the T-Fuel/T-bill pair, now that has been there the whole time, and every time that we add liquidity, it's very easy. We just hit that liquidity button. But now then, we'll have to create the second pair, which is going to be the G-Note/T-bill pair.
By the way, just a note, you've got the create pair, and then you've got the add liquidity. And I did this once. If you haven't already created a pair and you just go directly to add liquidity, it'll create the pair for you automatically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it did for me. So I didn't expect that, but it did.
Well, so I guess we'll have to give it a little time to. We might have to maybe reload the wallet or do something to refresh our MetaMask or the theta swap.io. That's probably what I have to do, is refresh the theta swap. As we were saying, the article that is up on medium.com is a good article that kind of outlines the pool itself. In this article, it does say toward the bottom of the article, or at the bottom actually, that there will be a complete guide coming out that will be coming out here just very shortly. So we'll see. So the pool is supposed to be stood up as we speak right now. I went ahead and closed my staking page out and everything out. I'm going to reopen it here in a minute to see if indeed it loads up. But I did see that I have already been issued my G-Note for this staking with T-bill. So I've got a little G-Note there that I'll stake, that I'll put into the liquidity pool, T-bill and G-Note, or liquidity pool.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the
ratio is going to be between.
Ratio is.
Yeah. I'm going
I'll
to
open that back up.
I'm going to the click on add liquidity and see. We got T-bill, and then add the second token and see. I see T-bill, but I'm not yet seeing the, oh yeah, there it is, G-Note is now there. So I'll click on max and see if it does anything. It did not. So okay, it's still showing a zero balance of the G-Note. So it's too new. There's probably a couple of things that are still kind of being flushed out, I'm guessing.
So while we're waiting on that, I guess we'll talk about, what does this mean for T-bill? Where I have some ideas about what I think is going to happen with T-bill itself, because now we have two liquidity pools instead of just the one. I think we have the airdrop of the G-Note from staking functions, and all that is happening today. And then we're going to have an airdrop of G-Note a week from today that is for the impermanent loss.
Realized impermanent loss.
Which is going to, but that is, they're calling 0 day. That's the 22nd of July. So that's next Friday. And they're going to call that 0 day. And that 0 day is the day where they're going to zero out all impermanent loss. And so you'll be airdropped G-Note to zero out your impermanent loss. So all wallets will go back to 0 impermanent loss on that day.
Yeah. Any numbers that you have in realized IL, and it'll vary for everybody. Like I've got a fair amount of it pending, but that'll go to zero on the
Right.
22nd and be replaced by some amount of the G Note token.
Right. And between now and then, that ratio, and really there's not going to be a price. I mean, you have to be able to come up to a price on G Note, right? Because they come up, somehow they're figuring a price of what you've lost, and they're going to pay you with G Note. Therefore, they're coming up with the price of G Note. So, and that price is going to be fluctuating, and it's fluctuating based on the price of T-bill. And T-bill price, of course, is fluctuating based on the price of T-fuel and or demand of T-bill. So we're probably going to see these prices fluctuate quite a bit for T-bill. And I believe that in the next week or month or two, we're going to see larger demand for T-bill because of people getting this G Note in their wallet, and then they're going to say, okay, what do I do with this G Note? There's going to be a time of education where people are going to start learning about the staking pool, how it's going to work, what they might be able to make out of that. Then they're going to decide either they're going to stake that G Note with T-bill to the G Note LP, or what they'll do is they'll swap that G Note for T-bill and then swap the T-bill for T-fuel, and then they'll have the T-fuel to do whatever they wish with that. But I believe most of the people that are in the LP now are going to stay in the LP, and so what will happen is a demand for T-bill is going to happen. So I believe we're going to see over the next week and month or maybe two, we're going to see a demand for T-bill. And that demand for T-bill is going to cause an expansion rebase of T-bill in order to keep the price of T-bill at or near $1.11 now, which is the target price of T-bill. So I'm thinking you'll want to hold as much T-bill as you can, because we're going to see a rebasing of T-bill, and which will be more T-bill into your wallet. So I believe it's possible to have a growth of T-bill without necessarily having an increase in the price of T-fuel. So just because of demand on T-bill. So I'm doing those things to increase my amount of T-bill that I hold. And whether you hold T-bill in the LP as a part of the liquidity pool token, or you hold it in your wallet just as a token in your wallet, when T-bill is rebased, that occurs across all T-bill because it occurs within the contract of T-bill itself. So by holding that T-bill, and if you're just holding it in your MetaMask wallet, it's going to rebase and appear to be more T-bill if it's an expansion rebase. So of course we know that that brings the price of T-bill down with an expansion rebase. So the dollar amount or value of T-bill is the same, but the number of T-bill that you have grows. So
there's an opportunity there.
I believe so. I believe there's an opportunity to increase your T-fuel over time by increasing the amount of T-bill that you have. And of course we can increase that T-bill right now by swapping T-bill or your T-fuel for T-bill and hold more T-bill. And then whenever T-bill is rebased. If the demand goes up, then the price of T-bill goes up. And at some point, we can then swap back T-bill for T-fuel and have more T-fuel than we started with. And if you work through the mechanics of this, it actually doesn't pull any T-fuel out of the liquidity pool because you're swapping T-bill for T-fuel within the liquidity pool. And so if you were, say, pull out a third or, say, 30% of your T-fuel, T-bill liquidity pool, the LP tokens, pull 30% out. So now once you do that, in your wallet, you're going to have T-fuel and T-bill. And if you took that
they want to keep the percentage
above
that
7.
they pull out. They want to, they want to keep the percentage that they pull out no higher than 29%, or
Right.
that affects their extra IL that they could
Right.
potentially get.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So that's why I
just a
said
caveat that they need to take
Right.
that into consideration.
you want the and I understand this. The thing about G World and DGuard and this team, they know that for some reasons people need to pull some of their funds out of the pool for whatever reason. Maybe you got a bill you need to pay, or maybe you have some other obligations you need to take care of. So by liquidating part of your pool or your LP tokens, you're then able to go into T-fuel and then take that T-fuel out and turn it into currency where you can take care of your obligations. And so they have some compassion for people to be able to do that, but they also want to incentivize people to stay in the pool, stay in the liquidity pool, or the LP. So if you keep your amount of LP tokens at or above 70% of your high water mark, so at least don't pull out more than 30, right? Up to 30%, then
or up to
whatever,
29%. If
say
you
up to
pull
30.
30%, if you pull 30% or more, then that will affect your extra IL. That's what it says.
Okay. Well, okay. So anyway, you want to keep, as I understand, you want to keep at least 70% in there. So by keeping 70% in there, you're going to not affect your extra IL, and you're not going to affect any realized or unrealized IL. So all that's going to stay there. And whenever the airdrop happens next week and we go to 0 day, you'll receive your G note to bring your overall value back to what it once was because of impermanent loss. So so what I'm doing, I'm saying, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take about 30% or a little less, 29%, pull it out of the pool. That is, so that now in my wallet I have T-fuel and T-bill. I'm then going to take that T-fuel and swap it for T-bill to give me more T-bill in my wallet. That T-fuel winds up back in the liquidity pool because I had to pull T-bill out of the liquidity pool by adding the T-fuel back to the liquidity pool. So
right, but let's go into some detail on that, just to make sure they understand. Okay, the maximum price of the T-bill is going to be just before it rebases. So if you have some T-bill sitting there, and let's say it goes to $2, just to make the math easy, then if after the rebase occurs, okay, when the T-bill is at $2 and T-fuel is still a nickel, that means for every T-bill that you swap for T-fuel, you're going to get a a maximum amount. A nickel goes into $2. How many times?
40.
Okay, so you're going to get 40 T-fuel for every T-bill just before the rebase. And then you let the rebase occur, the price drops down, let's say, to $1.50 per T-bill. You can now buy back the same amount of T-bill, but using less T-fuel, which means you gained some T-fuel in the process. And so it's strategic that you get that timing right.
Right. And I'm looking at more of a, of course, you don't want to be out of the LP any longer than you have to, because you're then losing your daily APR. So there's a bit of, it's a bit of gamesmanship here, but all of this is kind of what makes it fun, and trying to figure out the best time to go into the pool, pull out of the pool to maximize the amount of T-bill you have, and then swap back to maximize the amount of T-fuel you have, and to put that back in the pool. So at some point, I'll be back in the pool, the T-fuel T-bill pool, 100%.
Well, if you're on it and you do it, let's say 15 minutes before the rebase, you take your T-bill and you swap it for T-fuel, and then 15 minutes after the rebase, when the prices drop back down, you buy back that same amount of T-bill, but it cost you less T-fuel to do it. Okay, so you made a gain there, and then you go back into the pool. So you're talking 30 minutes where you're not going to be earning rewards on that T-bill that you pulled out. So it's going to be insignificant, compared to a 24-hour day. You will have been in the pool for 23 and a half hours. So, I looked at my numbers, and I've got, let's just for the sake of ease, I've got 1,200 T-bill that I pulled out of the pool. And, if it goes up just $1 from where it's at now, I think it's like $1.15 now. If it goes up $1, okay, and I swap it for T-fuel, the amount of T-bill that I've got, I should end up picking up like 20,000 extra T-fuel by doing that. And then after the rebase and it gets back down to where I can buy back those same T-bill, but for far less T-fuel, and then I put it right back into the pool. And by doing that, I've just gained a significant amount of T-fuel based on the amount of T-bill that I pull out of the LP to do this. And I ran the numbers 2 or 3 times just to make sure I got it right, and I got it right. The only thing I can't predict is how high is the price of T-bill going to go prior to the rebase. We know there's going to be some demand, because where do people get the T-bill they're going to need to put into the other LP? Well, there's only one place they can get it.
That's right. Out of the T-fuel T-bill LP that now exists.
Exactly. So if you pull T-bill out of the pool, that causes the price to increase of T-bill. So that's where this opportunity exists. And we're gonna test it tonight. Both LT and I are gonna test it tonight.
So, it's just trying to take advantage, of the situation that appears to be presenting itself. So,
yeah, it's essentially arbitrage, wouldn't that be the word?
Yes.
So, it's like, hey, if I've got an opportunity there to get some extra T-fuel in the process, I'm going to take it.
Right. Which is why we're in the pool in the first place, is you eventually want to have more T-fuel.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind, and this is from that article that came out over a week ago now that we last talked about, and That is the GTX browser, which is the GTX wallet that is a better MetaMask, let's say. And I
Yeah.
believe that is going to create more demand for T-bill as well. And so,
Is there a date when they're going to be releasing that?
it said soon. It's another one of those, if you put a date out there, it's that sound that you hear as it goes swooshing by.
Yeah.
So,
Of course, we that are not on the development team would rather have a date, so that helps us to hold them accountable. But the people on the development team, they would rather not. At some point they'll have to come out with a date, but
right.
they're gonna resist as long as they can, I guess.
We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So,
well, when the boss doesn't want to put the date out, there's nobody that can overrule him. And DeGard is the boss, so
right.
when I was developing working for the man could say, I want a date when you're going to have that ready, and I didn't really have much choice but to give him one.
Right.
So I figured, what's the best date I can come up with, and then I doubled it.
There you go.
Give myself a little leeway.
Right. Well, you hate to, right? hate to give dates that you can't keep, and of course you'll work as hard as you can to keep it, but there's things that happen that cause.
Well, the doubling part, what that does for you is, if you tell people, hey, I'm going to have it on this date, and then you're able to deliver it sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Because you doubled the date, you hoped that you wouldn't have issues come up, but you built time in case you did. So
right.
If you pull out the stops and you're able to deliver what you promised but sooner than you promised, they're happy.
Right.
I don't know if you ever used to watch Star Trek, but the Scotty, I guess, was the engineer, and he was famous for, well, I can't do that, Captain. But then
right.
he'd do it, because that's the way it works.
Right.
Some of the young folks probably going, who's Star Trek? Who's Scotty?
Right.
We're showing our age that we know who that is, because like I'm 65, so I've been around a day.
And then you're old, because I'm not nearly that old. See.
Yeah, you're what, 14?
Oh yeah,
the youngest pilot in the world.
So.
I'm sure there are days when you wish you were 14.
Well, no, 14 was a hard time for me. I'm liking being, the age I am is a good one, so I'm just going to stay right here.
Yeah.
So, but, all right. Anyway, of course, it's hard to think and do at the same time. I've been sitting here playing with my wallet while we're talking, and that's probably not the best thing to do. So anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Probably not. Whenever you're working with your wallet, especially if it's one that's got a lot in it, you want to pay real close attention to what you're doing, just in case.
Right. So. But
cut it out, LT.
Cut it out, yeah. So it appears that we're going to have some exciting times over the next few days and weeks to come. I'm still trying to figure out if I can get in this pool.
Yeah, I've refreshed several times, and it's not showing the number that I've got. According to the T-bill IO page, I've got 0.25, but
yeah, it's not showing. I don't have an option to get the G note yet. It's not giving me a G note.
Oh, Does it show? No, wait a minute.
for token selection.
I thought it did, but it's still showing 0. So, oh well, we'll wait. It'll be there eventually.
Right.
I checked for the G note in the drop down list this morning, and it still wasn't there, but it's there now. So they are making
Oh, you have
progress
G note in
there.
your drop down list?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
it's in the drop
On
down
the
list.
staking
It's just
page?
showing a
Or the pool page?
on the pool page. It's the G note is in there, but it's just showing a 0 balance, even though the T-bill IO staking page says I've got 0.25. So we're halfway there.
Well, mine's not showing the G note in the pool page. So,
Yeah.
but you're on your desktop
Yes.
computer,
we know
and I'm
that
on my
there seems
phone,
to be
and so
there seems to be a difference in what you see.
right. So we'll have to wait a little longer. Oh,
Yeah.
that's we're wanting there. You know, it's like kids. I've just spent
Yeah.
several days with my grandchildren. They want everything right now.
Oh, of
and so do we.
course.
So
They got to learn
so-
what's called delayed gratification.
right. So the other interesting thing, I was on the Discord channel the other last few days. I check it every day, but the last few days I've been on the Discord channel and kind of watching what's going on Discord, and B-Guard's been on there. He's been answering questions for people. He's been active, and he has been I still have it. Okay. So he's been on there answering questions and trying to make sure everybody is up to date with what's going on. He's got, right now he's on there. I'm checking it right now as we're speaking. And he's got some screenshots up. Okay, here's your, got this from Discord right now. 1,000 G note is 78,575 T-bill. So
whoa, that's quite the
so
ratio.
It's about 78.5 to 1.
Yeah.
Right.
So think. Let's do some real quick math here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say T-bill's worth $1.
Well, we know right now T-bill's $1.17.
Right.
So,
But I'm just using $1 for easier math, because
Mhm.
I'm not a math genius like you.
Well, I don't know about genius.
That was
but
not one of my strong subjects in school. But so 78 T-bill, that's $78. If that equals 1 G note, then 1 G note is $78
Mhm.
in value, at least right now. So, if they airdropped 0.25 G note, that's about what, $20 roughly?
$25. Yeah. $20. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite the ratio. Of course, we know that's going to change as
That's going to
things
change
move
almost
forward, but-
immediately. Yeah.
yeah. But,
So,
I was just
which
looking over here on T-bill stats to see if they've updated it to show the G note, and I'm not seeing it. But then again, I'm blind anyway, so could be there, and I'm just not seeing it. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
I know.
well
I
said.
know they will add it. I'll bet you they have it on there by the end of the day.
So yeah, D-Guard's saying on here, we're hitting blockchain block size limits here. So evidently there's a lot of activity on the blockchain, and so that's probably causing the issue.
Yeah, they can only pack
So,
so many transactions into a block, and then they have to wait for
right,
the next block.
right. Now the blocks go, I mean, that's the great thing about the Theta network, right, is the blocks are about 6 seconds. So for another block. So
Yeah.
anyway, so there's a lot going on the blockchain. So that's going to T-Fuel, T-Bill, T-Bill, G-Note. So yeah. So yeah, see, people are actually starting to swap, according to this, T-Bill for G-Note, trying to get a hold of G-Note. So that's, again, with that liquidity pool there. So evidently somebody's working in the liquidity pool. I'm not able to do so yet, at least not off my mobile device. I probably should get my laptop out, see what I can do on that.
Well, that's a wrap for this presentation, so cue the music. If you enjoyed the video, then hit that thumbs up for me, and I'll see you in the next video.